Hello, this is the Predator here, and today we're going to be doing some deck reviewing. This is something I haven't really done on this channel. Surprisingly, I'm actually back on my channel. However, I am doing a competitive scene for both budget builds and complete builds for competitive play. I'm also going to do some like casual deck buildings. And we're going to be looking at one other friend of mine who plays Blue Eyes. Right now we're going to be looking at ABCs, or budget ABCs, my friend here, Fluffy.
Yep. It's pretty much, I think it's about $80, so it's underneath the $100 normal budget for budget decks.
$100, $150.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty basic, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it.
But if it's a normal monster, I get to send one.
I see a lot of people only run 2 of each, but just to maximize, I run 3 Assault Cores, 3 Bee-Buster Drakes, and 3 Sea Crush Wyvern. And that's just because you want to have them both, either you want to have all of them on the field, or have them either on the field and graveyard. And you also want a few of them removed for when you already have your Buster out, just so you can use your Buster's effect. Because it gets crazy. I've done a combo where I was able to get 3 Busters out, and it was nice. And then supporting cards. Pretty much, I have the support union monsters. I have is 3 of the armor, just because it helps keep them being unaffected by card effects, pretty much, and it protects them too. And then I run 3 of these. I only see people run 1, but I like running 3 just to have the more options to see it. Is 3 Torque Tuner Gear.
Oh, that's a really good card.
Because by itself it's a tuner, but when you equip it to another monster, another machine monster, that monster becomes a tuner of its own level. So you can easily either make if you have this on the field, you can make a level 5, or if you have 2 level 4s in him, a level 9 like Trishula. Or if you combine him and you connect him to a level 4 and you have another level 4, the card that I normally go in because it has burn damage is Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, because it's a level 8 and it's a really decent card.
And one thing I want to note here is that I have seen some Violon players play Torque Tune Gear just to make if you don't have like a high enough level tuner on the field and you want to go into Omega, this is the card that you'll want to use.
Yes. And then for my extenders, which actually, to be honest, with the field spell and a few other spells I run here, all of the cards in the deck can be extenders, to be honest. But, okay, so I run 3 gold gadgets. Most people only run 2, but I run the 3 just so I have enough resources to back myself up if my board gets wiped. And obviously with 3 of the gold, I have to play 3 of the silver for the same reason. And hand traps are actually a small number. It's just 2, which are 2 Ash Blossoms and Joyous Springs. That's just because I don't want people searching their deck. It gives them too much, especially if they're a hero player, because I mean, I'm a hero player, so I know if I play against a hero guy, I better have one of these in my hand, or they're going to make their board and I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And then this field spell is also the Union Hanger. It's a pseudo extender in a way, because when you play it, you can add a light union monster from your deck to your hand. And then when you play a union monster, I think it lets you do it from the deck or hand, but if I'm wrong, just say something about it, because I don't want to go and read it because that takes up too much time.
Yeah.
But then after that, when you get equipped with it, you can go ahead and unequip it, because it was equipped by this effect, not its own effect. So you can still special summon it by unequipping it, and then go off with a Link 2 play. And then most of the time, you want to have 2 pieces do that. And depending on what pieces you have, you'll be able to get the 3rd piece into your hand or on the field. And then you can go into your Buster.
Right.
The 1 Terraforming, just to search it. And then this card is like, in my opinion, is like the best card in the deck. Frontline base. Reason why, it's not a hard once per turn. It's a once per card. So if you have, so even if you brick with 3 of them, and you at least have 2 other monsters in your hand that are link or union monsters, you can special summon them and go off with your link plays, and still have a normal summon. So it's a really good card. So that's why we're running a 3. And then the one thing that this deck kind of lacks in is beating over power, because the only, well, except for one card in the extra deck, but for most of the cards, they have a hard time beating over stuff. So I run 3 limiter removal. You know, yeah, your cards are going to get destroyed at the end of the turn, but when you use one of them, you're normally winning the game that turn. And
it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, and because I hate hand traps, 2 Called by the Graves. Because you gotta do searches in this deck too, or you do a lot of adding from deck to hand or deck to field, and Ash can stop that. I don't want that happening. And then one of the better, a really good extender is Monster Reborn. And the next card, some people, I don't know, I don't really see a lot of people playing this, but I play it because just in case if I can get 2 pieces already on the field for my Buster Cannon and then link them away after I do the special summoning with the Union Hanger effect. Foolish Burial lets me get the 3rd one in, and I can go ahead and make Buster. Then I play for traps. I only play 5 traps. And for a budget build, I think they're mandatory because they help out with numbers. And 3 Union Scrambles, it pretty much lets you get 3 of your banished light Union machine monsters and special summon to your field. So I run 3 of them. Just like if you have to use more than 1 a game, you're probably losing. But I just want to see it in my hand, almost no matter what. So that's why I run the 3. And then just to get a card out of the graveyard that doesn't get removed from play, that's a Union monster. 2 rollouts, just because it's a budget option, and this deck does need the recursion. So that's kind of why I have it there.
And for those of you, if you don't want to do a budget build and you have like a lot of money, instead of the budget build that he has right here, I think I would recommend a build that runs 3 infinite impermanents.
Yes,
because that is a better literal hand trap.
Yeah,
is what I like to call it.
I mean, normally I would run at least 4 hand traps, and that would be 2 Ashes and 2 Effect Veilers.
And with and how the game would be right now when Master Roll 5 comes out, I think a pretty big hand trap that you would want to run is Drillin' Lockbird.
Yeah. And okay, I'm going to get to the extra deck first, and then I'll do the side deck. The side deck, there's only like actually 2 cards in there that really matter, and that's just for battle phase stuff. But obviously, you run 3 of your boss monster.
The Dragon Buster himself. His
effect is also a quick effect. Like, my version doesn't say quick effect on it, but the newer ones do. The secret rare ones do.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much, you can use it on your turn and then wait until your opponent's turn and say they get something that you just can't deal with in any other way and just use its effect.
It's literally the first.
Saying if you got the card in your hand, but yeah. And I don't think it targets. It might, I'm not sure. It probably does.
Then target 1 card in the field.
Yeah, target. Okay, so it targets, but it doesn't destroy. It just banishes. So that's a good removal right there. It does suck that it targets, but you know what? Even if they stop 1, it's. I don't think it's. Let me see. Yeah, it's not a hard once per turn. It's just a regular once per card, once per turn. And then the synchros that I do play, I play 2 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiends just for the burn effect and the fact that it's a 3000 beat stick. So yeah. And then I originally was running F.A. Don Dragster, but now I mean it's more apparent that monster effects kind of screw with my decks. So it's not the best card to run, but it still helps stop monster effects, and that's Clearwing Synchro Dragon. And obviously I run it because it's a budget deck. So. Now,
my turn.
To really stick it to your opponent, the Utopia package.
Yeah.
And the thing that I like about it, you have Utopia gain go up to 5,000. You attack one of your opponent's monsters, and there's another card. I'm just going to go ahead and show one of the copies. Honest. You can quite literally, depending on the monster you're attacking, almost double his current attack points and go for
Guys
game.
are blue from my
So,
And even while he's attacking and like you detach the
now,
materials,
save his effect activates
his
whenever
attack
these
becomes
normal summons.
5,000, and then
I get to
you
Use
activate
this.
Honest.
Yeah.
Monster from my deck.
or see what you can actually do, because this is a quick effect. When you attack, you can use Honest and then
because
use his
my only
effect.
option right
His
now
effect
is
activates
Sage.
first, he
I'll
goes to
have
5,000, then he gains the attack. But you can do either way. It doesn't matter. So, and then for searching cards, I got one Gear Gigant X, just because it's a good searcher, because there's, you know,
Do you wanna see
machines,
something that makes
well,
you
except for
think I'm
Cyber
stupid?
Dragons, machines don't have that many search cards, unless it's in the form of a monster.
Advantage alternative.
And now, the Link
So
monsters
I can
are
special
extremely
summon Red Eye
budget.
Darkness Metal Dragon,
I just got him because, you know,
and I'll use
him,
effect.
because,
Just
pretty much because he has the destruction effect, I believe. Or it might be the original one. No, the original one has negate.
special
But this one,
summons
I
dragons
believe,
from
whenever,
hand or graveyard.
I think it's like whenever a card that it points to would be destroyed,
And I'll use
you can
his
destroy one of
effect
your
to
opponent's
special
monsters,
summon
or that
Blue
or
Eyes White
protects it.
Dragon
No,
from my graveyard.
You might know it better,
Well-
because I don't
Now
use
two
that
blue
much.
eyes
It becomes
white
Decode
dragon
Talker while
Sage
on the
with
field,
blue.
gains 500 attack for each monster it points to, and during the battle phase of a monster this
Summon
card
Blue Eyes Spirit.
points to is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. You can this card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn.
Okay, yeah. So it's an OTK maker, pretty much.
It's a very low OTK maker,
Yeah.
but it's not bad by any means.
And then regular Decode Talker, just because it,
Blue Eyes
if
Spirit
it's,
Just because of negation.
yeah, but it's like a single target negation, so it's. And then just to power up my monsters, and a lot of people are gonna be like, "Why are you playing that card? It doesn't fit." I'm not even gonna pronounce his name because I don't know how to pronounce it.
Hit potion again.
Yeah, but my deck, pretty much, except for my extra deck, my whole main deck are light monsters. This powers them all up, which I can have a 2400 beat stick on the field because of a Assault Core, because this gives it 500 attack points. And then this one I just play because it's a machine, and it will let me, it just takes any two machines, and it has protection for it, and it also has a disruption.
Clifford Genius.
Yeah, Clifford Genius. Yeah, I forgot to say the name. And then Platinum Gadget. Like, I play it just because it's a decent Link 2. I can't link up with it that turn that it comes on the field, but it's whatever. I don't even play it for its effect. I just play it for the 2 arrows, and then just for some for the field spell recursion and to protect the field spell. I play. This is a card that you can take out. I just run it because I don't have anything else. Barricade Blocker, and that's just because it's just that little spice I want in the deck, I guess you could say. So that's pretty much it for the extra deck,
Now moving on to the side deck, what do
which
you got
is
for this
extremely budget as well. Like I already showed one, but 2 Honests. I would up for 3, but I think 2 are better. And they're only like, I think they're only like $1 or something. Maybe not even that, because I can't remember how much it was when I got it. But I use Amazon, so Amazon's a little more pricey. But
Yeah.
so this deck actually might be a lot cheaper than actually what I'm saying it is. This one I just put, even though, okay, it's a Union monster, it may be dark, so my hip Shinnigan, or whatever how you pronounce it, actually messes it up. But the fact that I side this in every once in a while because it gives attack points, and it does protect the monster. And like I said, this is budget, so I put in a spell card that can also be a trap. Shrink. If you side this in and you use this on one of your opponent's monsters, and then you use limiter removal, you're gonna win that turn. It does not matter how many monsters they have on the field, you're gonna win that turn. Because I've done this before and I've always won every turn I did it with. Like, there was only one time I did not win. And then because of back row hate, it's a budget option. I mean, the Cyclone, Parallel Cyclone, or what, Dimensional Cyclone is it called, or is it Parallel Cyclone?
What?
The Cyclone card that's like this, but it banishes the cards instead. I can't remember what it's
Galaxy
called.
Cyclone.
Cosmic Cyclone.
Cosmic Cyclone, yeah. Cosmic Cyclone is probably better, but this deck, the reason why I run this is because actually, say you have a couple of pieces in your graveyard, and did all the summoning you could possibly do to the field. Activate this, pop 2 back row, and you get your final piece into the graveyard, and then you can make your buster.
Yeah.
And then 2 negate attacks, just because it's budget and sometimes you might need it because your monsters aren't particularly that powerful.
Even though battle traps are kind of outdated
Yeah.
nowadays and whatnot, I mean, it's not really a bad option.
Yeah.
You guys got a round open?
We got 30.
And then Fiendish Chain. I run 2 of them. I am going to put a third one in because Fiendish Chain is actually pretty good.
I'll do it.
Yeah,
And then this card is probably the card that I'm going to take out for the third Fiendish Chain, my third rollout. So, it's just... But I have tested this deck. The only deck there's only a couple of decks that really stomp it, and that's Cyber Dragons, Endymions, or Pendulums in general, because of the negations, and then Heroes and Dinos. But Dinos actually gives Dinos a run for their money. But that's just because if it's just like Ultimate Conductor, if you have multiple Ultimate Conductors on the field, you can use the effect from each of them for it because it's not a hard one to return. And the reason why I say, it gives it a run for the money, because if you got 3 of your Busters, and you can out-effect their Tyrannos. So.
Right.
But that's it for this, and if we do another one, it might be on my Fluffles. So, other than that, peace out.